Hi, welcome back. My name's Chris. I'm a French teacher at We Communicate, and as you can see, I'm holding a whiteboard. And with this whiteboard, I'm going to hope to share with you a few thoughts about attempting to learn a language with some of these big language platforms. I'm going to share with you a few of the risks that are associated with attempting to learn a language with the big learning platforms of this world. Let's simulate the creation of an online company. Shall we give it a name? Fantastic Languages. Okay, we'll call it Fantastic Languages, and we'll build our first language platform online. Now let's start with French. Imagine I want to start to sell French courses. I'm going to build a course. This is my first course for French, right? Well, to build this, I'm going to have to hire people to build this course for me. So imagine there could be up to 3 tutors, maybe there were 4 or 5. These people might have been recruited on Indeed, we don't know. These are the people who built the French course that you might be using. These people we know quite well. Well, actually, no, we don't know them. Which leads us to the first problem. There's a matter of trust involved. There's a matter of trust because these people are anonymous. We have no idea who built this French course that we're using. We don't know where they were recruited or who they are, and they might have started work in, let's give it a date, I don't know, in 2010. That's the creation of my business. Several tutors came together, 3, 4, 5, any number, came together and built a course that was financed by someone here who's running the company, right? Now these 3 people have a point of view, and this is an important word. They have a point of view on how French should be taught, is best taught, but they also had to come to an agreement because these 3 people each had different ideas on how French should be taught, and they had to reach a consensus, a harmony. And when you work in this way, there's a big problem of harmony. Now, harmony had to be achieved in some way, right? And you know how good humans are at working together, which they're not, of course. So either the owner told them, this is my vision for French, I want you to teach French like this, I have a vision for the company, this is the platform I'm trying to build, or the owner said, listen, I don't know much about teaching French at all, you're professionals, build me a course according to what you find is most logic. But for the user, for yourself using this platform, there's a question of trust. There's a big question of trust because these people have long gone, they've long disappeared. So it's a point of view on teaching, there's a matter of trust involved, and it's anonymous. We don't really know who they are. So imagine that the company's progressing, doing well, but now they want to add Spanish to the mix. So we're going to add a second course. We've done French, now we're doing Spanish. Second course, we're going to recruit people to build it. Because unless the person who's financing this thing knows all about French teaching and Spanish teaching, which would be amazing, he's going to recruit people, he or she is going to recruit people. So we're going to get more tutors in, 3, 4, 5, to build a Spanish course this time. These people are going to face the same problems as this team did. They're going to have to reach a harmony, work together to build some sort of harmony. It's going to be a point of view on how to best teach Spanish. It's a point of view always, which they're not sharing with you. Again, there's a matter of trust. It's a point of view on Spanish, it's a point of view on French. There's a matter of trust for you as the user because you're using a course built by people who have disappeared. You don't know how they were recruited, who they were, and they are likely not the face of the company who's financing it. So it's another point of view. This leads us to another problem. Harmony within 2 courses now. So the owner could tell these 2 teams, listen, this is my vision for teaching, this is how I would like to teach French and Spanish, which doesn't work, because you don't teach one language as you teach another. Each language has different priorities. So either the owner's clever and listens to these people and says, well, I don't know much about teaching Spanish, you tell me what's important. What should a person start with? In case the owner did this, this means that the platform you're using, for each different language, there's a completely different philosophy, which is a bit odd. They're selling you a brand, but each language you learn each language you learn is taught in a slightly different way. Which also proves my point that each team that builds a language course builds it in a slightly different way according to a point of view, which involves your trust as a learner. Now imagine that the platform's doing really well, French and Spanish are doing really well, you have hundreds and thousands of students, and you want to grow the course. What do you do? How do you do it? Do you call back these exact same people? Do you find the exact same people and say, I was quite happy with the job you did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would like to expand the course and do it with exactly you lot, or do you hire new people? That's another problem of harmony. How do you harmonize a course that's built with one team? Another team comes in, looks at their work, says, we're going to improve this, we're going to change this, which is yet another point of view. So now you're adding a point of view on a point of view, and you're highly risking the harmony of your course. And if you do this for 2 languages, now you have 2 languages that were worked on by 2 different teams at different times and strongly compromise the harmony of the course. In other words, you're seeing this, I'll draw a line, you're seeing this, you're seeing the course, but you don't see all that's going on beneath the course. How it was built, who it was built by, how they came to an agreement, following which principles. Was it the owner who said, I want this sort of dynamic, I want this sort of aesthetics, I want it to look like this, do as I say, even though I'm not particularly knowledgeable in teaching languages or even not at all, but this is my vision for this brand? Or did the owner trust these teams of teachers, linguists, because we don't know what their qualifications are really? And did the owner, the person that financed the company, let them get on with it and said, well, whatever you think is best to teach French or Spanish, I really don't know. In any case, we either have 2 different points of view for 2 courses, or 1 point of view for 2 courses. In any case, it sounds a bit like a cacophony, you might agree. So let's now imagine as a third step that this platform is doing really, really well, and we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 languages, even 12 more languages, and we're going to hire a team here, and we're going to hire a team here, and the owner, I think it's very unlikely that the owner is knowledgeable in all these languages, so we're hiring teams and teams and teams, and we're always adding different points of view. Different points of view because the builders of the course had to come to an agreement, the 2, 3 or 4 people that the owner hired had to come to an agreement, a certain point of view, had to come to an agreement and build that course which presumably the owner doesn't quite understand, unless they are knowledgeable in Russian, Japanese, Spanish, French, and also know how to teach it. It's very likely that the owner doesn't quite know. That there's also a matter of trust here. So you have to trust the trust of the owner, if you want. So you're trusting an anonymous team of teachers, whoever they are, and you're trusting the trust of this person. There's a lot of trust involved. You really don't know who built the course that you're using, which poses a massive problem of harmony and trust. And that's my issue with these big language platforms. Who built it? Who built them? How? And following which logic? My name is Chris from We Communicate. Thanks for watching. I hope it was useful. See you soon.